Hello folks and welcome to the Vertigo Tea Party and Let's Try Beholder is developed by Warm Lamp Studios, published by Alawar Entertainment. Right now, at the time of this recording, there is no price or release date, but it is set for sometime in fall of 2016. It will become available for PC and Mac and will support Steam achievements, Steam trading cards, and cloud saves. I will be playing the demo that is available on Steam. The link to the demo, the official webpage, and any other related links will be in the description below the video. So I'm going to start with a new game, but to kind of set the mood, I'm going to let the intro video play so you can kind of get an idea of the type of world we'll be entering with Beholder. Very interesting game we have here. I'm going to press to skip this because it reads the entire letter.
We are happy to announce you've been appointed a landlord of the Class D apartment block on Krushwitz 6. You must arrive there immediately and start working. You and your family are given an apartment on the first floor. The experimental medicine you've been injected with during the medical checkout suppresses your need for sleep. Thus, you will be able to spend more time serving your motherland. Welcome to the elite official rank, Ministry of Allocation.
Okay, sorry. My recording software sometimes will cut out if I'm talking while it's loading. But anyway, the premise of this game is that you are a newly appointed landlord and you kind of live in a little bit of a dystopian society, very Orwell-esque. And basically the government has a lot of ridiculous rules. People are ruled very, very strictly. Even the slightest breach of conduct will usually result in police time or jail time or beatings, things like that. And I'm going to kind of blow through the tutorial fairly quickly here so we can get to the meat of the game. So the warden or whatever that guy's called, giving us our first task. And I'll go into these mechanics that I'm going to be using here early on in just a bit. Like I said, I kind of want to get through the tutorial here. But what we're going to do now is something that we're going to be doing, or part of what we're going to be doing for the main part of the game. And that is surveillance and spying on our tenants, because we are basically in charge of this apartment building and we need to keep an eye on them. So to place cameras, right now, the only thing you can place cameras in is the smoke detectors, which is fairly impressive because these must be either be really, really big smoke detectors or some very small cameras. Going to put those in there. You'll notice it takes a little bit of time to do that, so you don't want to get caught doing that. That might not be great. I love the mumbly way that they talk. So you have money and you have influence up at the top right. Obviously, money you can get multiple ways. Every time you turn somebody in, you make money. There's all kinds of other ways you can make money as well, which plays into how you play the game. So I'm just going to tell them I'm going to do my best. I don't think that stuff plays too much of a part in the overall game there. So now I think it should let us zoom out in just a second. You have to play the game this close up the whole time. I think we need to do one more thing. You'll get calls on your phone. This is basically your private area. This is where you can monitor or report citizens, also get calls from the ministry for missions. Ready to receive a task? Yes, we're ready for the task. Establish surveillance in apartment 2. Jacob Minishk lives there. You can always buy the cameras you need at the state shop. Only enter a tenant's apartment when they're not home, and be careful. All right, so now we can zoom out. We can see the entire apartment. All of these with the little construction signs over them, those are not rented out. So right now there's only really 3 apartments that are rented out. First things first, so that we don't have to buy a camera, I'm going to take these cameras actually back down. And I don't think they care if we take these cameras because they're not in their house. So they have no questions about why I'm removing cameras out of smoke detectors. That's completely, totally fine by them. It is point and click, so you move characters around with double click, or you move your character around. You don't get control of multiple characters. And you can like double click, and usually he'll run. So when you come up to a door, you have a few options. We can knock. Knocking is a good way to check to see if anybody is at home. We can also peek through the doorway, and we don't see anybody there. So we're actually going to open up the door. And as he mentioned, you do not want to get caught going into somebody's apartment when they are not there. The other tenants don't seem to care. I've never had them yell at me for me going into somebody else's apartment. So I can search his various belongings here, and we find some deck of cards. Now, anytime you see this, red text, red anything, this is information that you need to jot down about this person. So you click on it to write it down. So now we've added the information to Jacob, and we're going to leave them. We don't want to steal the poker dice and whatnot. Generally, I haven't got caught stealing anything, but even though you're working for the government, you are not above prosecution for things. So you don't want to get stealing stuff, because if you get caught, then you get punished. I have stole some things and sold them, and I've not get caught, but I'm assuming if you keep stealing, you're eventually going to get busted. Ooh, there's a broken bottle. Could be very dangerous. We're going to click on that description text. Not every single item has description text, just things that are important. And sometimes items will not show up at all until you've progressed to a certain point in the story. So I'm still kind of keeping an eye to see if this guy pops up. He comes back to the bus. Actually, we're done here, so we can leave. Also, they don't seem to care. As long as you're leaving the apartment before they get past the door, they don't seem to care. I've had the apartment owner, be like where I'm at right now, and I busted out through the door running, and they didn't say a word. That probably could use some tweaking. It's a little bit too easy to avoid getting caught by the various tenants. So our mission, now let's actually look at the menu here. First off, we've got our tasks or missions, same thing. We'll tell you what you need to do. So now it's saying we need to install a camera in apartment 2. I forgot that part, my bad. We'll put that away. And while he's going up there, you can also look at the profile. You can see it by apartment, and you can click on various people, and it will show information that you've collected up until that point. We have the various directives, basically the laws that the government passes that tells people the mundane things that they are not allowed to do. Let's get back in here, set this camera up before he gets back home. So let's go ahead and set the camera up here. And then we are going to run on downstairs because I know where the next part is. And you can see the camera's area of effect here. Different cameras have different areas of effect. You can buy more cameras and other things here. In the state shop, you can buy cameras. I want to go ahead and buy them as well. I actually only buy the one right now. Oh, it actually costs reputation, which is a little strange why that would cost reputation, not money. I guess I could kind of see it since you're not technically buying it. You're getting it from the government on, not loan, but on the understanding you'll use it to catch people to turn them in if they do anything illegal, which in this country apparently is not very difficult to do, especially once you see some of the crazy laws that they come up with. So now that we've done all the objectives, we're going to call back to headquarters, the Ministry of Order. Your first task was a success. You are rewarded $500 and 50 rep. According to our sources, Jacob Manish is violating state directives. Spy on him using the surveillance camera. When a camera detects a tenant doing something illegal, the action icon changes color. Click on the icon to add the evidence to the dossier. Add the evidence you gather to your reports. And there is a reference here, so if you want to ask, there's various questions you can ask as far as how do you play the game, but we don't need to do that since I already understand how to play the game. While we wait on that guy to show up in his apartment, actually we'll go check the mail real fast. The mail will update with newspapers of current goings on outside of your area. In this case, there was somebody who got beat up by criminals who was the head of the miners' trade union, which I'm sure was just random thuggery. It wasn't any kind of setup or punishment for speaking out. And then on the back is the voice of truth. It's kind of like the rebel newsletter that they pin onto the newspaper, so you can kind of see the people who are still fighting against the system. You can see what they're saying. So we can see this guy going in here now. Let's see if he does anything suspicious. Oh, he's doing drugs, and it's in red, so I'm going to click it. It automatically adds it to the dossier, and you notice it added it to collected materials versus information collected. Information collected isn't bad stuff. It's just things about this person. So, for example, this person likes to gamble, and they can be dangerous because they have a weapon on them. You'll find other things like fishing rods, planting books, things like that, just to, again, learn more about each individual. And this is not randomized, by the way. There is a set story, age, occupation for all these various characters. All right, so now we've busted that person, and let's see what we do next. We report Jacob Manish. So one of the main things you'll be doing, I'll zoom in so you can see it a little bit better, and hear the bizarre, creepy sounds our daughter makes. Wow, okay, that's actually busting my ears a little bit. So we go in here to the work desk, and there's 3 different things you could do. You can write a report. This basically says, okay, this person is breaking the law. Come and arrest them. Profile a person. I don't really know what the point of this is unless they actually just specifically say, put a profile on this person. All this is doing is saying, okay, here's the person. Here's where they live. Here's their sex. Here's who they're married to. Here's what they do as a job. Here's their hobbies. That's all. It's not reporting the person. They're not getting in trouble. It's just letting the government know everything that person's up to, because we definitely can't have spies. We can't have any rebels to deal with. We can also blackmail. So this is, if I find something illegal in somebody's apartment, maybe I can just make a little bit of extra money by threatening them and telling them I'm going to turn them in unless they pay me. So obviously, I'm assuming there's a way you can get caught with blackmail too. Like maybe if you ask too much, the tenant turns you in. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and turn in this guy, Rajnik. I think was in Jacob. Let's go ahead and click on his apartment too. I know that weird face anywhere. Yep, Jacob. He's in apartment 2. He is in violation of Directive 6039. The production of drugs is prohibited, even though I think he was just using them close enough. Now, here's something that threw me off at first. The front part is actually the date that directive was issued. I don't know why they bother asking you. I think that's kind of silly. I don't know why they need a date. I think the directive number should be enough. But keep in mind, and what really sucks about this is if you put the wrong date even, you lose your chance forever. Because I ran into a case where I was trying to bust somebody on something and I thought this was the date that you found the information, not the date that the directive was created. I put the wrong date. You can never, at least in the demo, you can never send a report on that person for that particular crime again. It removes the evidence forever. It's pretty crappy. And you get a monetary fine, which sucks. So anyway, this was on September the 2nd, which is here. We're going to go to this person's profile, drag and drop the drugs there, which is basically saying I've got videotape of them doing drugs. And now the police come and have a nice chat. I'm sure they'll straighten everything out. He'll get a fair trial. He'll be peaceably arrested. We gotta keep order here. Well, he's giving him a few little love taps. He did look, to be fair, he looked like he was resisting arrest. He did look like he was resisting arrest. Oh, you really gotta stop resisting arrest or not walking fast enough or whatever it is he might be kicking you for. So while he's getting arrested for doing drugs, we also have all these other people that we can talk to. Well, I should probably get another call here soon. She's going in her apartment. We'll wait on that. And let's see. This updates with everybody that you arrest. tells you like, you know, what they got arrested for, the date, your reward, all that crap. This helps you keep up with what's prohibited and what's being banned right now. So you don't have to constantly go back into here and scroll through the list. You can quickly see here and then hover over. I do wish when you hovered over this, it would show you the case number and the date, since you need that to file the report, but that's a fairly minor complaint. So let's go back to our task. Looks like that updated. So I must repair the apartment following Minish's arrest and find a new tenant. So I need to repair apartment 2 and find a tenant. So you see the apartment numbers here. So there's 1, 2, 3, etc. So let's go ahead and click on this apartment. Yes, I do wish to repair it. For $750. It repairs fairly quickly. And then once you've done that, you can click here and bring in a new tenant. We have a choice. Let's go with Jones. So Jones should be moving in soon. And we see our phone is got an exclamation. Usually the phone will ring. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if that's not just a bug or what. But anyway, mystery order. Your task was success. Oh, I think that was just because I'm turning a quest in, so to speak. So we got our reputation and our money. It's funny because it says you don't need to actually call on the phone to turn in, but you kind of do. I guess what they mean is that you don't have to technically complete the quest. That's important because a lot of the quests given to you by the ministry have a time limit. And if you don't finish the quest in that time limit, you get in big trouble, up to and including arrest and game over. So let's actually request data on the new tenant, Jones Papindo. No violations, banned items, turned in 3. Papers okay, job, sailor on a coal barge. And intern at the International Affairs Committee, may be trained to sail internationally. Civil reliability, 7 out of 10, sounds like a good citizen. Surveillance required, will provide additional instructions later. All right, let's go ahead and finish the conversation. We are going to haul butt up here. I don't think he came in yet, did he? Ah, he did. Darn. So we also have a vendor over here. Most of the stuff he sells, I haven't really found a whole lot of use for. I presume it will be useful later. Unfortunately, you can't sell it to him. There we go. But you got various things, and it seems random. So again, I presume a lot of this will be useful. Some of it I have found uses for, like aspirin and the cardigan. But the cool thing about this game so far is you don't need to do things a certain way. In fact, one of the nice things about this game is you're rewarded for doing things differently. And I say rewarded as in you get to see different things. Sometimes very, very terrible things will happen. But at least it gives you like different ways to try to progress the story. I've went through the beginning section about 2 or 3 different ways, and it's interesting to see how each way plays out. Let's see, we'll check the mailbox again real fast. Mailbox is not super important. Philosophy is 9 cents. There's some more daily news. Terrible things going on as usual. Looks like our daughter has a quest. Let's go on down here. And you get these random little quests from your family as well as from tenants. The ones from your family don't seem to really matter a whole lot, to be honest. I haven't found any kind of purpose. I presume later on, if you do those quests as opposed to just ignore them, it opens up options. So like maybe if you find your little girl's doll, she'll be happier. And then therefore when another situation comes up, you know, she's more willing to tell you about something that she heard or something along those lines. I don't know. I haven't really noticed any difference, but I presume, given the way the game is set up, that is what's going to happen. So let's very quick, we'll find the daughter's doll. We're not going to do all of this stuff because each person has a quest. Basically, go find this thing, go talk to neighbors, things like that. One thing you've got to look out for, because this tripped me up initially. When I was looking for the little girl's doll, she said it was somewhere in their apartment, and I've checked all the apartment and could not find it. Well, if you look from here, it looks like we've got everything covered pretty much. I'm trying to zoom out just to prove my point. I checked everything and could not find it. And eventually I just zoomed in and moved, and I was like, oh, there's a dresser back there that I did not see initially. I don't know if that's intentional to try to kind of force you to look around a little deeper, but it's definitely something to look for, or look out for regardless. So we found her doll. There she is. Let's go give it to her. She'll say, will you play with me? I'll say, No. Talk about the doll. And that's it. The boy's got a quest as well, but I kind of want to stick with the more spying aspect. And you can see here, the truth is hidden and will be revealed 37 hours. That's a fancy way of saying the next quest is going to come up around that time frame. So I don't know. I want to start checking these folks' apartments. I mean, just to make sure that they're good citizens. First, as usual, I'm going to knock. Sometimes the controls can be a little unresponsive. A lot of times I have to click knock twice because else my character just won't knock. And I don't see anybody, so we're going to actually pop in here. And again, you got to keep an eye out because you don't want to get caught in here. Again, nobody seems to really care. Okay, actually, he's going in. That's where he lives. So let's go upstairs. Nope. She's coming home, of course. Let me knock and see if he's home. Sometimes you can see them just wandering around, but a lot of times if you just knock, you'll be able to see them pop up. All right, so he's not here. And I see him there. See, this is where I'm talking about where I'm clicking and it just will not go over. They need to be a little bit more forgiving on range of where you're clicking. So let's go ahead and put some cameras in this guy's room. Because the game did suggest that I do that. And it kind of gives you an idea of how well you could see. Oop, nope, do not want to repair that apartment. Let's click on that. I don't know why he's just hanging out by the bus. Maybe he's rode the bus here to wait for another one. Who knows? Who am I to question? Actually, I'm a government employee. I have every right to ask. Let's buy one of the cheap cameras. Now, there are a limited number of cameras, I believe. Or there's supposed to be. I know there was a bug earlier. I don't know if they fixed it where you could buy infinite cameras. But, all right, so we got cameras everywhere. I'm going to try to check stuff real quick. I'm going to see if he's coming in here. I'm going to bolt out. Now, when you're searching... Oh, yep, let's get out. See, he doesn't really seem to care. He saw me coming out of his room. He doesn't really care. But if I'm inside and he comes in, or if I unlock the door while he's there, he will not like that. So I'm actually going to knock on the door and show you some of the dialogue options that you get with various folks. Because you can get acquainted with them and talk to them, and eventually they'll, give you quests. And it's just a good idea because the government wants you keeping tabs on these people anyway. And as a good employee, you should know everything about these tenants to make sure there's no spies in our midst. So here we're just talking to him. He confirms that he is a sailor. And just to be clear, if it's not already, it's not obvious to these people that you are working for the government. They don't know that you're spying on them, basically. That should be pretty self-evident. But you're trying to keep this on the down low. That's why you don't want them catching you in their room, because they'll not like you. And I presume they'll treat you differently. I've had them catch me and they get like a little negative sign next to me, but they still talk to me okay. I presume if it happens repeatedly, though, they might get a little pissed. So let's say you finish talking to everybody and you're like, oh, I just really want this new quest to pop up. You can actually just go ahead and hit fast forward here. You can also pause if you would like, but we're going to fast forward. We got the time up here and the date. So we're just going to fast forward until our next mission is going to pop up. And I think we covered... Oh, sorry about that. It clicked out. I think we covered everything as far as the UI goes. Not going to show you too much more because, again, a big part of this game is playing differently. And I know I've kind of joked about it before, but another interesting aspect of this game is the moral side of the game. You run into these moral situations where you have to decide, okay, do I look out for myself? Do I just try to make as much money as possible? Or, like, even if you don't look at it from a greedy perspective, you have to look at it from the perspective of looking out for your family, right? Because doing this job and keeping the government and your employers in their good graces is advantageous to your family's survival and continued prosperity. But that prosperity also is directly related to you turning people in for doing things that are illegal. And just to look at some of the things that are illegal to give you an idea, this is not like, somebody got caught murdering someone else or beating someone. This is the people having apples is illegal. Using drugs is illegal. Let's see. Singing in front of the Ministry of Order is prohibited. Books by Paul Williams are illegal. You cannot use any foreign currency, and the newest law, it is illegal to own or wear old clothes. Does that actually get you thrown in jail? Okay, you don't get thrown in jail for those, but you do get a fine for having old clothes. So it's a very, obviously the picture they're trying to paint is of a very dark future and a very controlling government. Let's see. Let's go ahead and finish this conversation. So what was the quest they wanted me to get? Write down Klaus's characteristics. So to do that, we want to talk to some people, not our family, but some of the neighbors, to ask about them. Now, when people are standing waiting for the bus, they won't talk to you. I presume it's so that you can't stop them from getting on the bus. So let's start talking to a few other people. And luckily, when you click on them, they will stop moving. Usually, so that you can talk to them. Come on. There you go. See, he doesn't have anything to say. That's the actual guy that we want to find information out about. But let's talk to him anyway, since there's nobody else around. Nope, he's waiting for the bus, so I can't talk to him. And all the tenants are gone. So let's actually, since that gives us a sweet opportunity, since the government wants us getting information on him anyway, let's go ahead and take a look around his apartment. I'm pretty sure his wife left. We'll knock just to be sure. And nobody's home, so let's go ahead and go on inside. All right, let's start looking around. See what information we can find. Again, we're trying to keep this away from them, but really it's for everybody's own good. We're not harming them, we're just making sure that they're not spies. We gotta keep spies out. This is the price we pay. You lose a little bit of privacy, but again, we get some safety in return. So again, you want to click on the various items. Anything in red is important. It doesn't mean it's illegal. It just means there's information to be collected there. It's not showing it here, but if I were to click on him, you would see that this information is getting added to his dossier, so we can keep track of what's going on. So if there's anything odd that changes, we can say, "Hey, comrade, is something up?" I sure hope you haven't started considering the dark side of communism. Actually, we're probably communists. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. Let's see. I do see some very interesting possibilities opening up for this game as far as like, hey, what are you going to choose to do? Do you turn in? Oh, shit. Let's go. Run. Run your little stubby legs. Don't pay any attention to the fact that I just came out of your house. All right, so let's talk to this lady here. So get acquainted. My name's Carl. I'm the new building manager. I'm Maria Schimmer. Let's see. Oh, I think my wife wants a saucepan. I didn't think I talked to her, but she gives me a saucepan because she's a nice lady. I think we had to talk to people for this one. Oh, write down clauses, swimmer's characteristics. Oh, okay. I thought I did that already. I wonder if that changed, because last time I think I had to talk to people instead. Because I do not remember that part. Interesting. All right, so this gives us a good idea of how to do the profile. So again, his name is Apartment 1. Say Klaus, right? Did say Klaus. Make sure it's the same guy. Yep. So let's go. He's Apartment 1. Mr. Klaus Schrimmer. Apartment 1. Male. Marital status. And he's married to, oddly enough, Maria Schimmer. And we can see here he's a tobacco salesman. And we'll drag and drop the personal information we have. Now, we can get more information. Like, that's actually not everything. And I don't know if you get bigger rewards the more information you collect, but I would kind of hope so. We'll answer the phone here. You must evict Klaus. Okay. And well, let's ask about his wife. What will happen to his wife? We don't care about her. Do what you think is best. Ask about eviction methods. How can I evict him? Talk with Schimmer. We'll be fine with him moving out. It would be better if you report him when he violates the directive. This is your duty, Comrade Carl. All right, so here we have a few options. Now, we can, again, remember how I said earlier how some things won't show up in the apartments until a certain quest triggers? This is one of those cases. It's a little bit unrealistic and is a little bit bothersome because it's annoying to go in there, search the whole place, and then I get a new quest, and now I'm like, oh, there's probably a decent chance that there's something in there. Or I know I need to put up cameras to catch him doing something illegal at that point. So, anyway, what you need to do is go in and recheck, see if you can find something that is going to allow me to kick him out. Because even though I sort of work for the government incognito, I can't just throw somebody out for no reason. I have to have a reason to get them out. Another option I have, and let's fast forward so I can kind of show you that option as well. Oh, come on. Now I can knock, but usually the lady answers the door. Let's see. Ask about what he needs. My wife told you were asking about me. Oh, my wife told me you asked her about me. I also know you talked to the other tenants about me. What happened? I don't think did I do that this time? I didn't think I did, but oh well. So we have a choice here. We can either tell him about the ministry order, which again, keeping in mind, we're trying to stay relatively incognito, but that's your choice to make. If you want to, if you feel bad about the job, you can go ahead and give him a warning, or you can just threaten him with eviction, which probably he won't take too well. In this case, let's go ahead and tell him about the ministry order. You must be careful, Comrade Klaus. I'll get right to the point. I received an order to evict you from the building. They want to evict me from my house? That's unthinkable. If only I could, I would have left this pokey hole of a place a long time ago. And I'm going to skip through this because I want you guys to try this, and this is a demo, so there's no excuse not to give her a whirl. I'm going to say agree and leave. I have no time to talk about your problem. So now he's sad. That's a shame. So now to do our civic duty and check his apartment. Now, luckily, since I've actually had to do this several times, I know roughly where I need to look. I think. Now watch me mess this up. Also, who keeps toothpaste in their, like, living room coffee table? Aha! Illegal books. That's a shame. Now, it showed up under Maria. But I think sometimes when it comes to the illegal stuff, I think it can implicate both husband and wife. So what we're going to do, since we are a good employee or a good government stoolie, we are going to write a report on him. Mr. Klaus, in apartment 1, he violated directive. Where is it? 60. It looks like these changed too, because last time this was actually 60-40. That's very interesting. Something to keep in mind if you're replaying and you don't want to just click through everything very quickly. So it is on the 2nd. Now here's where I was talking about earlier, where if you put that date wrong and you do a report and send, you can never report him for the illegal books again. I don't like that at all. I think that's a bit silly. Why would you not be able to report it again just because you got the date of the violation wrong? That's silly. Give me the monetary and reputation punishment, but don't make it so it just doesn't work. And there's no error to indicate why it was rejected either. It just doesn't work. So that kind of stuff needs a little bit of cleanup. So let's see, it was 60-41. All right. So let's go ahead and send that. And the police should be here shortly. Oh, and there we go. And you know what? Just for good... Actually, you know what? Let's wait until the police are gone. The sound seems to blow out sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, really loud sometimes. He's over here like, I hope they do not notice me. It's interesting because they will check first. I think he's actually going to look for the books first. Maybe. I'm not actually... Oh, yep. I think he's... looking for them. I think he found the books, so now they'll arrest him, I guess. This guy just guards the police car for whatever reason. Or he might wait for them to get home. I'm not quite sure how that works. Oh, so now he's in trouble. Oh, he fell over. He just fell down. He hit himself on the door. Very clumsy old man. You are amazing patriots, officers. Fantastic job. Let's ask about the saucepan as her husband gets taken away. I think she'll talk to me about it when they get off screen. How about now? Nope, still not. Forward time a little bit. She has to, there we go. Let's talk to her about her husband getting taken away. I don't know what happened. They just arrived and arrested Klaus. They beat him before dragging him away. Luggage, we've packed everything. Is there anything I can do for you? You've done so much. Yeah, about that. Cheer her up. I don't know what to say. Do you have another place to stay? I don't know. Klaus was my only close friend. How can I live without him? And I'll say, I'm sure he'll be jailed for life or even shot. How did you know about that? I'm a court clerk, and I can tell you there's no way your husband is ever getting out of jail. This can't be true. It can't be. I've heard that the police beat the most inane confessions out of people. Klaus has a delicate psyche. He wouldn't be able to withstand even 5 minutes of abuse. Right, he's as good as dead now. This is unbearable. I can't live without him. Uh-oh. Whoa, whoa. Don't do it, ma'am. Is she really going to? She might. Oh, let's watch. Uh-oh. Oh, well, it wasn't by hanging, but I'm going to guess that vial with the black skull on it probably wasn't orange juice. Nope. Nope. Gonna definitely guess that it was not. So, and this is totally new to me, by the way. The last time I did this, that I sent him to the clink, I actually talked to her differently and ended up with something completely different happening. And before that, I actually did not turn him in. Well, I tried to turn him in, but I couldn't. So, but yeah, that's actually totally new. That's very, very interesting. Are you going to arrest her corpse, I guess? Suicide is illegal, ma'am. We're taking you in. You're going to tell us everything. Where did you get the poison? Answer me. Oh, well, they cleaned that apartment out. But yeah, that's one of the coolest things about this game so far is seeing the different things that happen. Because like I was saying before I kind of interrupted myself, the last time with that old guy, I didn't turn him in. Well, again, I tried, but wasn't able to. And there was a whole nother, route that I could go to try to save him. I don't know if there's any scenarios you get into where you just can't do it. Because here's the crappy thing, is that I think I got into that situation. I think I got into a situation where I couldn't evict him because I had lost my chance to report him, which again, I'm hoping is a bug. I hope that's not intentional. And the other way, which I won't spoil, was not available to me because of something else that I had picked. So I ended up losing the game because my time ran out, because they give you a certain amount of time to do whatever the mission is. And in that case, it was to evict him. And because I didn't do that, they actually came and arrested me, and it was game over. So that kind of stuff, I hope that's not the case, but it does. I mean, to some level, like making it so that you just flat out can't win if you do certain things would kind of suck. But I do really like the fact that it seems like there's a ton of different options in this game, insofar as like how you can approach it, and the way you treat people will have can have rippling effects, right? So, and it might not even be directly to them. Like some other tenant you do something for, if you make them happy, maybe they can offer you a favor that helps another tenant, which helps you out or helps even a family member. So it's all tied together in interesting ways, and that's what I think a lot of the fun in this game is going to be, is being not just seeing what happens the first time, but playing through again to see what changes. And right now, there's not any kind of open mode where you just play and it randomly generates tenants and you spy and do missions. However, they did mention they were considering it. However, there was no guarantee that would be in by release, I don't think. Right now, there's just the straight up story mode that you go through and you can get the various endings based on what happens. But I could definitely see this being really, really interesting. I hope there's more things to unlock to do surveillance, not just cameras. I'd like to see microphones so I could bug their phones or, just bug their apartments to hear things that they're talking about, to try to catch them doing things. Just other types of spy equipment would be pretty neat. Hopefully more things to buy. And the stuff for the shop that you can buy, most of the stuff I think either is just vanity stuff, or maybe if you buy some of this expensive stuff for your own apartment, maybe your family likes you more and maybe that opens something up. again, I'm not sure. I haven't wanted to spend any money on it just yet. But let's go ahead and buy something here. Can I drag and drop this? No, I can't do anything with it. So I'm not sure. Maybe I presume at some point later on that actually does become useful for something. Lastly, before we finish up here, let's check the settings. Pretty bare bones. You have graphical settings. No details, just goes from like the low to the highest. You can go from full screen or you can be in windowed mode. You can change your resolution and you can control the sound and the music volume separately. That's about it. There's not any kind of key controls, which honestly, I wouldn't. Well, I mean, I guess I could see having some controls to open up these windows on the side. I don't think they're necessary though. It's easy enough to click over there. One other thing that I do like about the interface, just to show you real quick, because a lot of games I think fail on this aspect, is let's say I'm writing up a report and I need information on this person. I can leave the report open and click around in here. So, I've got, their name and their apartment number from there. I need to know what the directive number is. So I can go in here and find it, and with the date, I don't have to close this and try to remember it and reopen it. It stays on the same page, and it's very easy to have that information open to reference. I really like that. It seems like a minor thing, but you'd be surprised how many games I've played where this type of mechanic exists that you need to refer to information that's on another window, but you can't have both of them open, or if it's a pain in the butt to try to get them both open. So I really, really like that aspect. But I don't know how many endings they're planning on the game, but I think I've seen at least 3 so far. And I presume there's even more because, again, there's other methods that I haven't even tried yet. So definitely check this out. Again, Beholder, it's on Steam. It's a free demo, Windows and Mac. No excuse not to give it a try. It's very interesting. I can see this game being one of those fun games where you got to make those tough moral choices where it's with him, do I report him straight out? And yeah, sure, I make money and I'm doing my job. But if you talk to him more, it feels like he really didn't do anything wrong. He seems like he's an innocent guy, a nice guy. And you might even run into cases where these people help you and your family, and then it turns out later on they're doing something illegal, and you have to make the decision. Do I want to send them to jail? And again, keeping in mind, because this is, grim dystopian future type game, this isn't a jail where they go for a few months and then get out. There's a fairly decent chance they're never getting back out of that prison ever again. So it's something you have to make a moral decision on, which I think is a cool aspect that can get you playing the game repeatedly, as well as the multiple outcomes. But anyway, that's enough out of me. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave comments in the comment section below. And if you'd like to see more coverage of games you might not have heard of, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you next time.